this week is going to be again focusing on this idea of stoking the fire and building internal heat. So we're going to be doing a lot more of focus on the core area again, and lots of sun salutations to really get the blood moving. So if you would like to either start sitting down, or you can come to lying. We will do a few asanas on the floor once we've had our initial period of settling in. So whatever you choose to do, but obviously you'll be coming down to the floor anyway, so maybe lying. And then just getting yourself comfortable, maybe bending the knees to release the lower back if that feels helpful to you. And taking a breath in through the nose, and then exhaling through the mouth. Releasing your week, releasing your day. Again, breathing in through the nose, and then just exhaling through the mouth. Releasing everything. And allowing the body to settle into the mat. And perhaps scanning through the body and seeing what's going on with it this evening. So just checking in the areas which perhaps feel a little bit different tonight. The areas you just need to be sympathetic to. And how are you feeling in your body? Do you feel that you've got energy this evening, or do you feel perhaps a little bit sluggish? Like you need to get the energy moving. Just taking a few moments to scan through the body, to check in with how you're feeling, to set the tone of where you're at this evening. And then bringing the hands onto the abdomen, just connecting to the breath. And feeling the rise of the abdomen as you breathe in, and feeling the fall as you exhale. Feeling how, as you take those breaths in and out, you've got that little network of core muscles around the middle, expanding and contracting as you breathe in and out, providing that support to the center of the body, providing that stability. Just allowing them to relax, allowing the back muscles to relax into the floor. Releasing the muscles around the abdomen, around the sides. Just taking a final few breaths here before we begin to move. And then when you're ready, drawing the right knee and then the left knee into the body. And as we did last week, not holding on to them, so just using those core muscles to keep the knees engaged. So just pulling the knees into the chest, just taking kind of almost like little, very little crunches just to draw those knees in towards the chest and then release. And just breathe it. And then taking your knees around in a big circle, using those core muscles to control the action, so nice and smooth and slow. And then going in the opposite direction. And keeping the circle fairly small, a controlled movement. And then from here, just bringing them back into the chest again. Then you're going to bring the arms either straight up towards the top of your mat, or just bringing them slightly out to the side, whatever feels comfortable for you. And we're going to start to bicircle the legs. So stretching the left leg out along the mat, keeping the right leg in, and then drawing the left leg back in and stretching the right leg out. So just moving one leg, then the other, really, really slowly, just emphasizing that movement, really controlling it with the middle. Activating center of the body, building the heat. Just one more on each side, making sure that you're finishing with the right leg stretched out and then drawing both knees into the chest again. Just taking a rock from side to side. Again, seeing if you can keep the hands away from the knees, if that feels okay. And then we're going to repeat the same thing. This time we're going to stretch the left leg out along the ground. Then you're going to stretch the right foot up towards the ceiling. And we're going to do the same leg switching, but this time the legs are going to be straight. And you want to try and keep the feet off the ground when you're bringing it down. So just switching one leg and then the other. Really, really slowly. Almost like you were swimming. Which Lala's latest thing that she likes to pretend to be is her swim teacher, so we've been doing lots of leg kicking recently. Perhaps inspired this. And then just one more on each side, finishing with the right leg down, and then just drawing the knees into the chest, and you can hold them this time, and just taking a little rock from side to side, maybe even just a slight little twist to either side. Just releasing the core. And then bringing the arms back out again, this time bringing them out to shoulder height. And you're going to have the knees bent with the shins parallel to the floor, thighs facing up. And we're just going to go from one side to the other with our twist, but again, trying to keep the knees off the floor if we can do. So inhaling, and then on the exhale, dropping the knees towards the right. On the inhale, coming back to the center, and then exhaling over to the left. Just switching between one and the other with your breath. Keeping that core activated, keeping the movement slow and steady. And then one more on each side, finishing on the left side. And coming back to the center and just holding the knees and just rocking a little bit from side to side. And then from here we're going to do come up to sit. So we're going to rock back and forth, but as we did last week, just seeing if we can kind of rock to almost sitting and then roll back again. So just keeping that kind of core strength and then rocking back again. So just doing that a couple of times, 2, maybe 3 times, just to use that stability. And then you're going to come to sit and find a comfortable seat. That might be cross-legged, that might not be cross-legged, depending on what is comfortable or not for you. I'm presuming, Kate, you just knocked a glass of water over or something like that. I've done it many times. So we're going to sit in our comfortable seated position, bringing the hands down by the sides. And as we did last week, just focusing in on creating that length and stability through the center. So on the inhale, drawing everything up. So kind of feeling like you're drawing the belly button in towards the center. You're drawing the back in towards the center, really kind of pulling everything upwards. And then on the exhale, just making sure that everything's relaxed. And again, inhaling to draw and lengthen. And then exhaling, relaxing the shoulders, sitting into the sit bones. From here, inhaling, sweeping the arms up, feeling that length and strength through the center. And then on the exhale, you're going to sweep the hands behind you, slightly coming forwards. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up, looking up. And then exhale, arms behind you, slightly tipping forwards. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up, looking up. And exhale, hands behind you, slightly coming forwards. 2 more here. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up. And then exhale, sweeping them behind you. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up, looking up. And exhale, taking the arms behind you. And keeping those arms where they are, just coming into kind of a forward fold. Obviously, forward fold with the hands lifted up. So just using the core to bring yourself forward. And then releasing the hands down to the ground in front of you. And giving the head a little bit of a shake, releasing the neck. Big breath in. Big breath out. Inhaling, sweeping back up again, sweeping the arms up to the ceiling. And then we're going to come into our side stretches, but as last week, we're going to keep that hand lifted off the floor. So inhaling to the fingertips, and then on the exhale, you're going to sweep the right hand behind you, taking the left hand over the head. Inhaling, bringing both back to the center, and then exhaling, left hand behind, right hand over. And just switching between one and the other, nice and slow and steady. Using those core muscles to control the movement, to keep that nice and stable and strong. As I said last week, sometimes moving slowly is actually much more of a challenge to the muscles than moving really quickly and doing more repetitions. Now I'm going to hold down on the right side. So right arm behind you, left arm over. If you've held on the other side, that's fine. We'll just switch over. And then come to hold on the opposite side, whichever that is for you. And then inhaling, both arms back up. And exhaling, releasing the hands behind you. Leaning back onto the hands and crossing the legs. And just stretching the legs up for a moment, kind of almost like a little boat pose. And then you're going to switch the cross of the leg so it's going in the opposite direction, usually the way that feels a little bit odd. And then from here, we're going to inhale the arms up, looking up, and then exhaling, splitting and turning to the left side, opening the arms out wide. Inhaling, coming back to the front. And exhaling, turning to the right. Again, keeping the arms lifted. So using the length and strength in the middle to bring you into your twist. And just moving from one side to the other. And then I'm going to hold. Going to twist to the left. Perhaps bringing the left hand into the base of the spine if that feels a little bit more supportive. And then inhaling to release, coming onto the opposite side, whichever that is for you. And then inhaling the arms back up. Exhale, bringing them both down behind you. And then folding forwards again, keeping the hands behind you for a moment, just emphasizing this control in the core, and then releasing the hands down and just having a little gentle sway, releasing the head, releasing the neck. Big breath in, big breath out. From here, we're going to roll forwards or getting there however you wish, coming onto your hands and knees. So getting there in a different way if that works better for you. Setting up with the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And just using the breath at the moment to feel that strength in the core. So keeping the back nice and straight. And again, emphasizing on the idea of drawing the belly button in towards the middle, drawing the back in. So kind of almost like you were zipping up a very tight jacket, not so that it's stopping you breathing comfortably, but just so that everything feels kind of contained and strong. And then from here, we're going to use that strength to inhale, bring the chest forwards, lifting the head, coming into your cow pose. Exhaling, opening through the shoulders, tucking the head, coming into your cat. And just moving between one and the other with your breath, really emphasizing that control and strength in the core. There's lots of different body parts that come into poses or sequence poses like these. And we can focus on lots of different elements to kind of see where the strength comes from. But this month we're going to be really focusing on the kind of core's involvement in this pose, where the movement is coming from. So a couple more rounds. And then coming back to neutral. Again, just focusing on that idea of that strength. Bringing the right knee slightly into the center of the mat and stretching the left leg behind you, toes to the ground, pressing through the heel to stretch all the way down the back of the leg. And then keeping that strength through the core, keeping the hips balanced and not lifting them. And lift that back leg. Again, really the strength for this pose coming through that core area, but also coming from the drawing of the toes towards you, pressing the heel away, so really engaging through the leg. And then from here, building on, stretching the right arm out, stretching from that right fingertip through to the left toes. And then building on if you wish. Inhaling to lengthen, and then exhale as we did last week, drawing the elbow in towards the knee. Inhaling to stretch those two back out again, and then exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, stretching them both back out again, and then exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, stretching back out. And then exhale, releasing the hand and the knee back to the floor. Rocking the hips from side to side a couple of times. And then from here, we're going to stretch the right leg back, tucking the right toes into the ground, pressing through the heels, stretching the back of the leg. Strong through the core, keeping the hips balanced, lifting that right leg, drawing the toes towards you, pressing the heel away. And then building on, stretching the left arm out in front of you and keeping that really strong through from the left fingertips to the right toes. Making sure that the back isn't dropping down, keeping that nice and strong. And then building on, inhale here, and then exhale, drawing elbow in towards the knee. Inhaling to stretch that back out, and then exhaling, elbow to knee. Inhale, stretching hand and foot out. Exhale, elbow in towards the knee. Inhale, stretching that back out. And then exhale, releasing the hand and the knee to the ground. Taking the knees a little bit wider and dropping back into your child's pose, pressing the bottom in towards the heels and releasing the head down to the ground. And perhaps just taking a little rock from side to side, releasing in the hips, releasing in the lower back. Again, big breath in, exhaling to release. And just making sure that we're not building up any tension in this core and abdominal area. Inhale. inhaling to come forwards, back onto hands and knees. And from here, just stepping the right foot and then the left foot back, coming into either your plank pose, or if you wish, dropping the knees down, coming into that modified plank pose. Really, really strong, using that kind of zipping up of the core to keep that strength, keep that stability in this plank pose. And then from here, either dropping the knees down and doing knees, chest, chin, or if you wish, coming down through that yogic press up all the way down to the ground, bringing the forehead onto the ground, and then taking the hands behind you, the backs of the hands facing down. I'm going to come into that locust pose again, which we did as the alternative to cobra in our sun salutations last week. So just a reminder, on the inhale, we're going to lift the chest, lift the hands, and if you can, lift the feet up from the mat, lifting the head, and then releasing back down. Again, inhaling, lifting everything up, and then exhale, and releasing down. One more, inhaling, lifting up, and then exhale, releasing down, pressing the hands into the mat either side of the chest again, and from here pushing yourself back up onto your hands and knees, and then tucking the toes under and drawing the hips up and back, coming into your downward dog pose, making it a little fidgety for the first one that we do. So whatever you need to do to make that feel a little bit more stretched. And then when you've done so, just bringing that attention again to the core, feeling that kind of idea of zipping everything up to create that strength through the center. Again, big breath in, exhaling it out. And then drawing either hands back towards the feet, or walking the feet in towards the hands, and coming into a very gentle forward fold, shaking the head a couple of times just to release the neck. And then on the inhale, and controlling with the core, really slowly rolling up through the spine, keeping the head and neck until last, and then rolling through the shoulders. And coming to step to the front of the mat if you're not already there. You've walked hands back towards the feet, and then rolling the shoulders back, pressing the feet into the ground, engaging through the legs, engaging through the core area, drawing yourself up into your mountain pose. So feeling strong, feeling stable. From here, inhaling, lifting the hands, looking up, and exhale, folding forwards, controlling with the core. Inhaling halfway, and exhale, folding back in. Inhale, lifting the arms back up, and then exhaling, hands down through the center line. Inhale, lifting the arms, looking up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale, all the way back up. And exhaling down through the center line. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, looking up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhaling halfway. Exhale, folding back down. Inhale, lifting all the way back up. And exhaling down through the center line, building on into our full salutations. Inhale, lifting the arms, looking up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhaling halfway. And exhale, folding down, stepping back with the left foot and dropping that left knee down. From here, we're going to slightly lift into our low lunge, hands off the floor, using the core to hold this pose. And then exhale, planting the hands back down. Inhale to lift the left knee, and then exhale, stepping back. And as with last week, we're going to hold our plank for an extra breath. So either plank or modified plank here. So inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and then exhaling, knees, chest, chin, coming all the way down to the floor, bringing the backs of the hands onto the mat, and on the inhale, peeling up into your locust pose. Exhaling, coming down again. Inhale, lifting back into locust, and exhale down. Inhale, coming into your locust. And then this time on the exhale, planting the hands by the chest, pushing yourself up and drawing yourself up and back into your downward dog pose. Feeling that strength through the middle, drawing the core muscles out long and strong as we did when we were seated. Feeling that strength and stability in the pose coming from this area. And then inhaling, looking forwards, stepping forwards with the left foot and dropping the right knee down. From here on the inhale, we're going to slightly draw upwards into our low lunge, hands lifted, and then exhaling, planting the hands back down. Inhale, lifting the right knee, and on the exhale, stepping forwards to fold into the legs. Inhale, lifting all the way back up, and then exhaling down through the center line. Inhale to lift the arms, looking up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, halfway. And then exhaling, stepping back with the left foot, dropping the left knee down. This time on the inhale, as we did last week, bringing the hands up in line with the body, that 45-degree angle. And then exhale, planting the hands back down. Inhaling to lift the left knee. And from here on the exhale, stepping back, coming into your plank or your modified plank. Extra breath here. So inhaling, exhaling, inhaling. And then on the exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga coming down all the way to the floor. Hand back to the hands to the ground. Inhaling to lift into your locust. Exhaling down. Lifting into your locust. And back down. Lifting into that locust pose. And back down. Bringing the hands in line with the chest. And then pressing up from the mat, drawing the hips up and back, coming into your downward dog pose. Strong and long through the middle. Feeling that you're drawing the belly button back, drawing the back in towards the belly button. Inhale and exhale, release. Looking forwards, on the inhale, stepping forwards with the left foot and dropping the right knee down. Inhaling to sweep the arms forwards in line with the rest of the body, holding for a moment, and then exhaling, releasing down. Tucking the back foot, lifting the right knee, and on the exhale, stepping forwards to fold into the legs. Inhale, sweeping the arms all the way back up. And then exhaling, hands down through the center line. One more. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, looking up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, halfway. And then on the exhale, stepping back with the left foot, dropping the left knee down. And this time on the inhale, we're going to sweep all the way up into your low lunge pose, strong and long through the center. And then exhaling, hands placed back down. Inhale, lifting the left knee. And on the exhale, stepping back into your plank or your modified plank. Extra breath here. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling. And on the exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga coming down all the way to the floor. Backs of the hands on the mat. And inhaling, lifting into that locust pose. Exhaling down. Inhaling into your locust. Exhaling down. Inhaling into that locust one last time. And then exhaling down, bringing the hands in line with the chest. And inhaling, drawing the hips up and back, coming into your downward dog pose. Or taking a child's pose, that is always an option. Whenever we take downward dog, child's pose is always a more gentler alternative. So keeping that length and strength through the core. Inhaling, exhaling out. Next inhale, looking forwards and stepping forwards with the left foot, dropping the right knee down. And on the inhale, sweeping the arms up into your low lunge, strong through the middle. And then exhaling down. Inhaling to lift the right knee. And then on the exhale, stepping forwards to fold into the legs. Inhale, sweeping the arms all the way up. And then exhaling, hands down through the center line. I'm just closing the eyes for a moment and lowering the gaze and just focusing in on how the body's feeling. Observing any rise in temperature. Perhaps a feeling of the energy rising, heat rising. Heat can be a really positive thing at this time of year. In Ayurveda, it's seen as the vata time of year, very dry and very cold time. So we have to heat the body up. We need to give it more water. So you can hear it. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up, looking up. And then exhale, folding down. Inhaling halfway. And then exhale, stepping straight back into your downward dog pose. And then from here, we're going to inhale and lift the left leg. And as we did last week, we're going to see if we can draw the knee forwards to tap it against the left elbow or in that direction. Inhaling to straighten the leg up again. And then again, exhaling, knee to elbow. And inhaling back up again. And final one, knee to elbow. And then from here, bringing that foot forwards. And in two, so as we did last week, so coming to your 45 degrees and then lifting all the way up into your high lunge. So just exaggerating that transition upwards. Big breath in, and then on the exhale, opening it out, making it into your warrior two pose. And checking that front knee for a moment. We haven't done too much about warrior two front knee for a little while, so just checking in, making sure that it's in line with the ankle and just drawing it back by either engaging the inner thigh muscles or the outer thigh muscles, depending on where the knee is. And then from here, strong through the core, we're going to inhale, sweep the arms up, looking up, and then exhale, taking them behind you as we were in our seated pose. Inhaling to sweep the arms up, looking up, and exhale, dropping the head down, arms behind you. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, looking up, and exhale, sweeping the hands behind you. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, and then from here, taking the right hand down to the back leg, sweeping the left arm over, coming into your reverse warrior. And seeing if you can find any more space in that front knee. See a lovely front hip and a lovely sweeping arm. Inhaling, coming back to your warrior two. Exhale, taking the front elbow to the front knee, coming over into side angle for a moment. And then inhaling back to warrior two and cartwheeling the arms over, planting them onto the mat and stepping back into your downward dog. Switching to the opposite side, so inhaling the right leg up and exhale, tapping knee to elbow or towards elbow. Inhaling back up, exhaling knee to elbow. Inhaling back up and exhaling knee to elbow. And then through to plant the foot down. From here, lifting into your high lunge in 2, inhaling 45, and then all the way up. Strong in your high lunge, so really feeling that lift through the center of the body. Big breath in here, and then on the exhale, opening it out, making it into that warrior two pose, and checking in on that front knee, and just drawing, either engaging the outer muscles if the knee's dropping inwards, or just engaging through the inner thigh if it's dropping outwards. And then from here, when inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, looking down, sweeping the arms behind you. Inhale, the arms up, looking up. Exhale, sweeping the arms behind you. Inhale, arms up, looking up. And then exhale, looking down, arms behind you. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, look up. And then exhale, left hand down the back leg, reversing the warrior, right arm over the head, stretching into that right side of the body. Seeing if you can drop a little bit further into that front knee. And then inhaling, coming back to your warrior two, taking that right elbow over onto the front knee, sweeping the left arm over into your side angle pose for a moment. And then inhaling, coming back to your warrior two, and cartwheeling the hands over and stepping yourself back into your downward dog, or taking child's pose, or working through a vinyasa. Those are your 3 options, depending on how your body's feeling this evening. Whatever you're doing, feeling that strength through the core. And then meeting back in downward dog if you come down into child's pose. And from here, we'll inhale the left leg up. You know where we're going. Exhaling, left elbow to left knee. Inhaling up. Exhaling, I should say knee to elbow. It's quite hard to take the elbow to me. Inhaling back up, exhaling, knee to elbow, and then bringing it through to the front of the mat. Again, lifting in 2, so inhaling, and then fully bringing it up and coming up to the top. Big breath in here, and then on the exhale, opening it out, making it into your warrior two pose. And we're going to begin to flow in the same way as we did when we were seated, by bringing one arm behind you, taking one arm over. So big breath in. On the exhale, right arm behind you, left arm over the head. Inhaling back to your warrior two, and then go in the opposite direction. Using that core strength to move between one and the other. Controlled, strong, fluid. And back to warrior two. And then cartwheeling the hands over, planting them and stepping back into your downward dog. From here, inhaling the right foot up, and then exhaling knee to elbow. Inhaling the foot up. Exhaling knee to elbow. Inhaling the leg up. Knee in towards the elbow. And then bringing that through, coming into your high lunge in 2. So inhaling to 45 degrees and then lifting up nice and strong in the back leg. Inhaling here. Now on the exhale, opening it out, making it into your warrior 2 pose. And then beginning to flow. Inhaling, and then on the exhale, left arm behind the back, right arm over the head, reverse. And switching between one and the other, using those core muscles to keep the movement slow and strong. And just observing the difference that this version is to how we would normally do it. And back to your warrior 2. And then cartwheeling the hands over, planting them down and stepping back into your downward dog, but then dropping the knees down and coming into child's pose. Releasing the head down. And just taking a little rock through the lower back. Again, big breath in. Exhale, releasing. Next inhale, just coming back up into your downward dog. And then from here, we're going to transition into seated. So perhaps just taking a little hop forwards and then coming down to sit. Stretching the legs out in front. So coming into a forward fold in a moment. So just adjusting the flesh away from the sit bones, finding a comfortable seat. And bringing a slight little bend into the knees so that you can release the hamstrings a little bit. On the inhale, sweeping the arms up. And this time as you come forward, you're going to take the arms behind the back, as we have been doing this evening. And for a moment, just using that core strength to hold you in your forward fold. On the inhale, lengthening up, so drawing the chest forwards. And then exhaling, seeing if you can find some more space. Not only then releasing your hands forwards, just noticing the difference. Noticing actually how in this pose that we do engage through the core. We don't just flop ourselves down into the pose, but we do find some strength in the core muscles. And then inhaling, drawing back up, planting the hands behind you with the fingertips facing forward. And we're going to lift up into our reverse tabletop. So on the inhale, we're going to draw the hips up, opening through the chest, and then dropping yourself back down, and bringing the knees up. And again, we're going to have a little play with the boat pose that we were doing last week. So just keeping the feet on the ground for a moment, taking the hands behind the thighs just above the knees, drawing the chest forwards, rolling the shoulders back, really feeling like you're kind of zipping up your little core jacket. And then just leaning back ever so slightly to engage through those muscles. And then seeing if you can lift the one foot up, drawing the toes towards you and pressing the heels away. And again, then lifting the other one up. And then releasing forwards, just taking the soles of the feet together, releasing the knees out wide, very loose band angle pose. Now on the inhale, coming straight back up into that pose. That's the challenge. And then perhaps seeing if you can release the hands. Big breath in. And then on the exhale, soles of the feet together, releasing the legs out wide, folding forwards. Inhaling, lifting back up into that boat pose. Seeing if you can come straight back to where you were. Drawing the chest forward, shoulders back, perhaps seeing if you can lift one leg straight and then the other. And then breath in and exhale forwards, releasing into that loose band angle pose. And then one more. Inhale, coming back, chest forward, shoulders back, and then perhaps seeing if we can keep the hands out, draw the toes towards you, press the heels away. Lovely. And then exhaling, releasing forwards into that band angle pose. And here, just lifting up, we'll just take some very gentle twists. So keeping the feet where they are, the soles of the feet together, legs out wide. Inhaling here, and on the exhale, taking the right hand to the left knee and taking the left hand behind you, twisting to the left side. Inhaling to release forwards, and then exhaling, coming onto the opposite side. Inhaling back to the front, bringing both knees together and just pulling the knees into the chest and giving yourself a hug, tucking the head down, opening through the shoulder blades. And then from here, we're going to roll ourselves down to the ground. Drawing the knees into the chest, and having a little rock and a little drawing circle with the knees in both directions. Now releasing the feet down to the ground. I'm going to come up into bridge pose in a moment. So just walking the feet in towards the bottom a little bit. Bringing the hands down onto the ground beside you. And on the inhale, pressing the feet and hands into the ground and lifting up through the hips, coming into a very gentle bridge. So we're just looking to stretch the front of the body. And then exhale, bringing yourself down. Taking the arms out wide, shoulder height, picking up the knees, so bringing the knees into a right angle. Inhaling here, and then exhaling, dropping them over to the right side, and bringing them all the way down to the ground. And perhaps even then taking the right hand onto the outside of the left knee. And just draw the knees around and get that lovely stretch across the core area. And if it feels okay for the neck, looking towards the left hand, over to the left side. Again, big breath in. Exhaling it out. Inhaling to release, bringing the knees back up to the center, and then exhaling and dropping them over onto the opposite side. And if you want to, taking the left hand to the outside of the right knee, drawing the knees across. And if it feels okay for the neck, looking towards the right side, looking towards the right hand. Big breath in, exhaling it out. Inhaling, release, drawing the knees into the chest, and then one last rock from side to side. And then here, before you come into your Shavasana, the yogi's choice, any final poses you feel that your body needs before you come into your relaxation, then now is your time to do that. And when you do feel that you're ready, perhaps putting on some socks, putting on a jumper, or covering yourself in a blanket, just making sure that you're going to stay warm, keep the body temperature up. Maintain that internal fire which we have begun to build. And when you get there, taking a big breath in through the nose and exhale, everything out. Releasing the feet, releasing the legs, releasing the hands, releasing the arms, releasing the chest and the shoulders, releasing the head and the neck, and releasing the abdomen and the lower back. When a spark discovers you, do not flee or hide. Scoop it up with loving hands and dare bring it inside. Be generous and give it space. It needs the groom to grow. Let the fledgling flame ignite and encourage it to grow. It will erupt in wild blaze the more courageously you tend. Pay attention when it speaks your name. Sit beside your beaming friend. Allow yourself to run right through the holes in unconvincing mask. Flow into a pool of truth. In loving wisdom bask. It's here you see so clearly you never needed that disguise. This shell will never fit the same. No choice left but to rise. Tomorrow take your flame along and trust her with your sight. One majestic spirit, together bathe the world in light. Taking a breath into the body. And exhale, letting it go. Starting to bring some small movements into the fingers and toes. Moving the head from side to side. Stretching the arms up above the head and the legs. Taking a full body stretch. Taking a big breath in. And then exhale, drawing knees to chest. And taking a rock from side to side. Releasing the spine. And you're ready. Making a pillow for the head with the arm. Rolling over onto the side. In your own time, coming back up to sit. And bringing the hands down by the sides. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. And then on the exhale, sweeping the hands behind you. And bowing the head down. Thank you very much for your practice this evening. And I hope that your fire continues to burn throughout the week. And I'll see you next week.